I think the Final Destination franchise is the only series of films where the entire point is to go in hoping for everyone in the cast to die. So how is Bloodlines, the sixth installment? Just like with the other films, this opens with a banger of a destructive sequence. And as far as build-up goes, it's probably one of the strongest the films have delivered. The first Final Destination took a decent amount of time to introduce us to characters before unleashing the tragedies. Here, we get a protracted sequence that has all of the hallmark traits of a cutesy and emotional setup, drawing us in with a few charismatic characters until the fateful moment when everything just goes to hell. And then, this is where the film breaks from tradition, at least in a way. We flash forward something like 45-ish years to the present, and then are introduced to the leading character we're going to follow for as long as she's able to evade death. Now, I don't know about you, but in the majority of these films, I'm not really invested in the characters. I mean, there are typically a few that I seriously want to die quickly because of just how creepy, skeezy, or maybe just awful the character is. But even with the main protagonists, it's rare that I'm really concerned for their well-being. I'm here for the convoluted and tricky death sequences. But in Bloodlines, just like with how the opening is different, so is the storyline. We get actual character development on several in the cast. And it's not like the story belabors any of the background or takes inordinate amounts of time to spend giving us just all the inane details of somebody's life in hopes that we'll slightly care about them. But through the course of the plot development, we learn enough about certain characters and then have the rest naturally addressed as the arcs progress. Now, the kills and the whole Rube Goldberg setup that Death concocts just in order to take those who cheated him, they are done well and drawn out so that almost all of them are just not immediate, but instead leave us guessing at where the final blow will come from and then how gruesome it's going to be. And a few somewhat abrupt. Others have us watching setups that have us looking all over the screen at the potential hazards. And it's not like the camera doesn't give away where we're supposed to look. I mean, it points out all of the dangers and threats. But just like with any immersive death contraption setup, not all we're shown is relevant to the final execution. And I chose that word specifically. I love that. It just makes some of the deaths all the more satisfying. At every single death in this film, I laughed out loud. Not because they were stupid or terribly done, but because the creativity, or maybe the pain, or simply just the suddenness, created a laugh. And it's not like I sat there with continual laughter. It was an outburst of audible amusement. And then I went back to being enthralled and stressed at when, where, and how the next death is going to occur. And if you're looking for gore, I mean, this doesn't skimp. We get a lot of brutal nastiness. And most of the time, it looks great.